Welcome, everybody, to episode 8 of the Discovery Educator Network Summer Institute podcast. Glad you could join us today. We have 5 magnificent people on our panelists here today. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell you where they're from, what they do, and how many times they've been to Summer Institute. Cathy, I'm going to start it with you.
Hi, I'm Cathy Houchin. I'm from Watertown, Wisconsin. I'm an elementary music teacher who is now on summer break. And I've been to DENSI 5 times.
All right, Chad.
I'm Chad Lehman. I'm with Discovery Education, and I have attended the Summer Institute 2 other times, one as a teacher and last year as staff for Discovery Education. So I've had the privilege of attending both sides of the spectrum.
All right. Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy Badiner. I'm from Richland, Michigan, and I'm an instructional technology coach, so I just get to play with tech all day. This will be my second DENSI. I went to Vermont last year.
Kate.
My name is Kate Nagle. I'm from Rockville, Maryland. I work as
with Discovery Education, and I
Whoa.
have attended the Summer Institute.
I'm getting a lot of feedback suddenly.
If you have Google Plus open in the background, if you could close it down, because we will get feedback on the...
Don't have Google Plus.
I think it was Chad. Go ahead, Kate.
Okay, sorry. All right, so I'm Kate Nagle. I'm in Rockville, Maryland, and I work as the middle and high school science teacher and technology coordinator for the Model Asperger program at the Ivy Mount School. And this will be my second DENSI.
All right, Cathy.
Hi, I'm Cathy Schrock. I'm on permanent summer break. Oh, that would be retired. And I go around the world talking about technology to teachers. I call myself an educational technologist, and this will be my second DENSI. I attended Montana, skipped last year, and I'm going again this year with great excitement.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. All right, first question for you. Returning members to the Summer Institute, if I could just get one aha moment, that aha moment you had from Summer Institute past that you were able to take away and say, this is the one thing that I really enjoyed about Summer Institute. Cathy Schrock, I'll start with you today with this first question.
I think my favorite part was the unconference that we had and watching the people that were so creative with their ideas and then attending them and listening to people share their success stories around a table.
All right. Kate? Kate, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said somebody else's name. I don't know why. I got lost thinking about all the things I loved about DENSI last year. I would say that my favorite moment was probably just feeling like I actually had a community. I think I got a little lost at my school being the only science teacher and one of 2 tech people in the whole school. And just realizing how large the community was and how much their support was there and existed just changed the whole world for me and sort of reinvigorated my enthusiasm for all the things that I was passionate about.
All right, Jeremy?
I think for me it was about the second day realizing that all these people that I was sitting next to at lunch and breakfast and doing all these fun activities with were the people I'd been stalking on Twitter and Google Plus and all the people from across the country that I thought were these tech gods, and they're real people and they're like helping you and asking you questions and things that you say are just, they think that's a great idea. So it was just that collaboration and that they're real people, and it was great.
Very cool. All right, Chad.
You know, it's sort of unrelated note to that. For me, I think the thing that really stands out is the friendships and the relationships that are built throughout the week. I mean, people come into the Summer Institute, and there's a whole group of people who have met and attended and been at events in the past, and you see all those develop. And then there's so many first-time attendees that come in as well, and you know, they kind of have that deer in the headlights, like, what in the world did I get myself into? And I think Kate and Jeremy, you guys can probably sense that from last year. But then, you know, as the week goes on, you know, when you leave on that last day, it's like you've known these people forever, and you know the connections you make during that week I'm sure you guys have been communicating and networking and learning from those people since last year. So to me, it's those relationships that have been built in that short period of time, and they end up being pretty great friendships.
All right. And Cathy?
I would agree. It's the friendships that you make and knowing people that you can contact when you struggle during the year and don't know how to do something. There's somebody always out there that has the answer, and you know where to go find it. Those people are there to help. And then I think you also learn, I went in thinking, well, I don't know how to do any of this, and then it empowered me. Yes, I do know. Yes, I can do this, and gave me that sense that I could do just what they did.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about those relationships that are built at Summer Institute and continue on throughout the year. Does anyone have an example of someone who they might not necessarily have been able to connect with if it wasn't for a Summer Institute that they then collaborated with throughout the rest of the year, or any stories like that?
I do.
Who wants to go? All right, so we'll start from my left to right. We'll start with Cathy. Cathy H, if you have a story.
Yes. As a result of Summer Institute last year, I was able to go to Nova Scotia this past fall, and my suite mate was from there. She wrote a grant. She got us to fly up to Nova Scotia, which I've always wanted to go see, and we got to work with their teachers for 2 days and share with them, and it was just a wonderful experience.
Awesome. Chad, do you have one?
Yeah, it's been fun because there's been such a growth of this mystery Skype project that's been, a lot of teachers are getting involved in. And I've had the treat a couple of times, Brandon, with your class to come in, and for some reason your kids seem to think I'm some sort of celebrity and just love when I pop in. But
I don't know why that is, honestly.
Between your class and others that I've just popped in and done some fun chats with, and it's nice I'm not in the classroom anymore, so it's neat for me to see what's going on in your classroom and then classrooms in Canada and Florida and all over the place. It's just kind of neat to get a glimpse into what's going on.
Right. Jeremy?
I spent so many with Den Chat and everything, but like Dave T and even Steve Dembo came in a document I was working with. My wife went last year with us too, and the year before that she got to go more than me. But the going into a Google Doc with a classroom and like Steve Dembo's in doing this cool collaborative document with people who you would never expect to come in, something like that. Dave T on some of the conferences I've gone to has always come in and attended my conference and just talked and stuff. It's great. I mean, the people I've met at the conference last year, I've just seen all over. We had a lot of people from Michigan, so I've seen almost all of them in Michigan throughout the year. So it's been really good connections after the conference is over.
Very cool. Kate?
I would say I had two things. One was I sort of just on Edmodo before we even went to my first DENSI, I ended up committing to road tripping up with two DENSI veterans and met them when they came to my house and slept over before we left for DENSI the next day. And that was Allison Schleely and Kelly Hines, and now they're just two of my biggest support systems when I'm having a rough day teaching or anything like that, and they are amazing, and we text together, and it just reminds me of this community and the support that I have. And then the other one was Patty Duncan, and I connected talking about TechBook, and she actually came and did a live stream with my students, which was just incredible, and they don't have as many opportunities to feel sort of like a mainstream classroom, and this was a really big deal for them, and they just were beside themselves with excitement with working with Patty and having her come in and being filmed and seen by the other people all around the world.
Very cool. All right, Cathy?
I have the luxury of going to lots of conferences, so it was great for me to go to DENSI, and then both last year and this year, anytime I go to a state conference, I have a built-in support group of people to talk to hang out with. I go to all the DEN events from many of the states. I just kind of pop in, and you're always welcome. So it's just a great community.
Cathy, can you talk a little bit about that more? How you travel the world doing these PD events. What is the difference between Summer Institute and maybe like another conference like like a ISTE or FETC? Just like the difference between those.
Well, the biggest difference is you have a concentrated group of people who you're with the whole time. Doesn't mean you're necessarily with the same groups when you're at DENSI. Discovery staff makes it a point to get everybody acclimated. They're almost like the teachers on the first day of school. You go with this group for this, and you go with that group for that, and they have all the icebreakers. So because my first DENSI, I mean, I didn't know very many of the people there at all, and I did have the deer in the headlights. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Everybody's giving a finger and doing all this other stuff, and this finger. But so the difference is that by the end of this week, besides the fact you've eaten, stayed in the dorm or the suite with the people, you really have true friendships. At ISTE and FETC, I always search out my real friends first, make some new friends, but it's the new friends that I meet at larger conferences are not to the depth of the DENSI group. So I go to DENSI dinners when I'm at different places, and I meet new people from the States who haven't been at DENSI, but I'm already feel comfortable because I know the people that have been at DENSI, because the leaders are pretty much always at DENSI. So it's just a warm and fuzzy feeling wherever I go. So it's great.
All right. Kat, I'm going to jump over to you for a quick break here. Not only the Summer Institute is a great place for PD, but also the Denapalooza Tour. Chad, can you talk a little bit about the Denapalooza Tour and what we got coming up?
Sure. What the Denapalooza Tour is a 12-stop tour of Saturday professional development opportunities. It's a free full day of PD put on by the DEN team. The presenters are members of the DEN community, DEN Stars Leadership Council members, DEN gurus, and then people from our team and other stars who want to present. Kate presented at our one in Washington, D.C., so that's pretty awesome. Cathy, you presented at the one in Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
Actually, you did Minneapolis last year, I think, right? Did you go up with Rita for that?
Yes. I went to Minneapolis.
So we had 5 stops this spring in Washington, D.C., Milwaukee, Ottawa, Edmonton, and where was the other one? Austin, Texas. And we have a little break for the summer, and we will kick off the fall tour in Wichita, Kansas on August 23rd. We'll be heading to Anaheim, California. To Brandon, you'll be involved in that one, and then we'll be in the Vancouver area, West Palm Beach, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, and I feel like I'm missing one, but 7 in fall, starting August 23rd. So if you want more information on those, you can go to denapalooza.com. Great free full-day PD opportunities, and they were a blast in spring and last year, and we're going to have a good time this fall.
All right. Thank you, Chad, for that break. I think Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, I knew I was forgetting one.
How come the Northeast is noticeably absent from that? Just curious.
Well,
I'm waiting for something close to me.
I know. Well, a lot of these locations are actually chosen by the community, so when we put the requests out for educators to say who would like to host one in their area,
I see.
We take that into consideration. So we've got a lot more requests coming in sort of the Southeast and Midwest. But maybe in 2015 we'll be up in the Northeast somewhere.
Cathy, you're always welcome to come out to Anaheim for dinner.
Okay, that's great. My son lives in California. That's a good thing.
September 13th. All right. Let's get back to Summer Institute. The social night's coming up, the big dress up. I heard it's a music theme this year. Does anyone want to share any maybe spoilers about your costumes?
Oh.
You hear me? Go for it.
And I guess I'll say I'm fortunate. My wife is also attending again this year. And last year we were the token married couple that were kind of there, and we went as it was represent your state, so we went as mittens. So we were 2 pair of mittens. This year I won't give anything away, but just think married rock stars or musicians. Or,
Sonny and Cher.
That's what
I'm not. Oh, see, you're not supposed to be guessing things.
Well, you said you weren't going to give it away. I can guess. You can't say if I'm right or wrong.
Maybe there'll be a karaoke machine there, and we'll have some fun. We'll see.
All right, Cathy Schrock, you had your hand raised. You want any?
Yes, we have a secret, but there will be some of us in being the same.
All right.
That's all I can do.
Anyone else? Kate or Cathy?
I don't have one yet.
Yeah, I have not done anything.
Yeah, but it might be a little too eccentric.
All right. So I expect to see a lot of Lady Gaga this year.
Not for me.
Well, there's always a chance. All right. Real quick, we're almost out of time here today, but I just want to get your DEN Summer Institute story. How did you hear about it? Why did you first apply? And maybe why do you keep coming back? But definitely, why did you first apply, and what was your first, introduction into the Summer Institute? We'll start in the middle with Jeremy.
Well, I'm kind of the tech person in our district, and I'm a big Discovery fan. And kind of like you heard, my wife got to go to Bozeman, and she came back and left me alone with the kids for a week and had all these wonderful experiences and bragged about it for basically a year. So I had to apply, and now that I've gone, it's like summer camp for tech teachers. I mean, I look forward to it more than summer vacation. It was the biggest build-up all year of applying for it, getting that email that you're in, and now that's the highlight of the year for me. That's better than anything else this summer. So it is an incredible experience. I'm not a big warm fuzzy person all the time, but the family you make, because it's a DEN family, is just it's lifelong. So it's an amazing experience.
Jeremy, let me ask you this: do you and Sarah try to one-up each other with your submission videos to get in? Yeah, we do. And I thought I had her last year, and this year they were. Mine was still better, but and the issue is I know eventually both of us won't get in, and I don't want to even be around the day that one of us gets in and one doesn't. So maybe that can kind of lead into we'll just always get in. All right, in the competition, and we'll be good. All right, Kate, what's your Summer Institute story? How did you first hear about it? Why did you first apply?
So actually, it was a little weird because last year I was looking at the Summer Institute and the Tech Book Institute that was going to happen last year, and we're actually in session all summer, so I have to take off work to go to DENSI, and so I hemmed and hawed and ended up applying for the Tech Book Institute after getting connected with Discovery and Tech Books through MSET, which is the Maryland Standards of Educational Technology Conference Common Ground. But then, alas, the Tech Book Institute didn't happen, and so I was invited to apply to DENSI instead. And as it turned out, it was a much better choice. I could never have dreamed that it would have been as eye-opening and enriching and just reaffirming of everything that I care about as it was. And now I would just be devastated if I didn't get to go.
All right, thank you. Cathy Schrock, what do you got?
Well, I was already a DEN guru, so I didn't have to apply. Because I could never go during the summer because I was a technology director for a school district, and they wouldn't let me out in the summer, so I could never apply the regular way. But when I became a DEN guru, I got to automatically get on the list, so that was a good thing.
All right, there you go. That's your way in, everybody. Cathy?
I first applied because as part of the Wisconsin DEN, one of our fellow DEN members talked me into it, and I'm so glad she did, because now it becomes part of your summer, and I don't know what happens when you apply and you don't make it, because that'd be sad, but a couple years I didn't apply, and boy, something was just missing from the summer those years I didn't go.
Chad, anything you want to add?
Well, just kind of going back to what Cathy was saying, when I was a part of the Wisconsin Leadership Council a few years ago, it was one of those things where at the time, the leadership councils were structured a little bit differently. So there was an events chair, a state chair, and then a blog chair. And the way things were set up several years ago is the chair for each state LC sort of got an automatic entry to go. And I just one year said to my wife, hey, I think I want to go do this. And she's like, well, would you know anybody? I'm like, well, a couple people, through online stuff and a few things that we had done through some Wisconsin stuff, and she's like, yeah, sure, go for it. So I went, and again, like everyone said, it was just kind of like the best experience. And I didn't go back. I didn't apply the year after that just because my kids had stuff going on and the timing didn't work, and I totally regretted it. But I don't plan on missing any more.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I'll give you a chance here in a second to give your last pitch effort for whatever. But I wanted to show everyone DENSI2014.com for all your Summer Institute resources. It's not quite built up all just yet, but as Summer Institute goes along, more resources will be placed on there, including the live stream events that occur. All right, panelists, last chance for a last word. I'll start with Cathy H, then Chad, Jeremy, Kate, and Kathy Schrock. Last word for people watching.
Rest up, get your sleep, because you're going to need it, and just come knowing that you won't leave the same as you came.
Yep.
Yeah, you can sleep on the plane or in the car ride on the way home. Take advantage of every minute that you have at the Summer Institute and just dive right in and get involved, and don't be shy. It's a blast.
Right, Jeremy.
It's the best experience you'll probably ever have, learning and meeting people and making the most insane network of people you'll ever have, and it's like building your family. It's incredible.
Right. Hey.
I would just say that last year I went not knowing a single person at all, not from Eden, not from nothing, and I left feeling more welcome and accepted than I have anywhere. And so even if you're nervous, everything will turn out perfectly and wonderfully.
All right, Kathy.
And I just finished my presentation for DENSI this morning, and it's very well done, and it includes, well, if I say so myself, but it's actually taking activators and summarizers, tying them to Discover Education streaming, and also mapping each one to a level of SAMR. So I'm doing all kinds of cool things. It's a great presentation. I had so much fun doing it. I made tons and tons of examples. So
You want to present that for the next hour right now?
no, thank you. I could, but no, thank you.
All right. Kathy, Chad, Jeremy, Kate, and Kathy, thank you all again for being here, and thank you once again to Discovery Education for putting on the Summer Institute. It's just a great place for PDNs to really build those relationships. For all things Summer Institute, head to DENSI2014.com, and for more information about Discovery Education, head to denblogs.com. Thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks. Bye.